was really under pressure. But I was still confident, nothing less than sitting there doing nothing like a dresser. I was killing myself slowly, but what made it worse, I was comfortable on the couch like the Huxtables. Walking with pride, but I was dying on the inside. Knew it was wrong, but I was living like it was right. Falling apart, destroying God's beautiful art. Whatever I was thinking wasn't smart. I got a few lives looking up to me, 3 sons and a daughter. I realized my responsibility as a father. I gotta change, transform, can't be the same. Cause I don't want my life to be in vain, man. This is insane. What am I doing? Cause I could be doing better. Food obsession, this is causing depression. I never saw it coming. I guess that I learned a lesson. I'm getting rid of obesity. It's messy. Okay, so dope. What is dope? Dope to me is not just something cool, amazing, incredible, but I defined it as the definition of purpose, everlasting. It defines my purpose. I'm dope because of my purpose. It's about my purpose, your purpose, our purpose as a whole. That's what this album is. That's what this album did for me. It's real, it's real. It was like a diary, my personal life, causing me to really reflect and just encourage people to, be them. You know what I'm saying? Be you. Be the best version of yourself. So I'm excited, about the creativity, about how much of a variety is on here. It's like a personal diary. It's like my personal diary. Growing up North Charleston, South Carolina, man, it was crazy. Off of Azalea, Ashley Shores. Where I grew up is torn down now. And I got used to the sirens was nothing. I go to sleep to the ambulance, you know what I'm saying, the police sirens and everything. I got involved, and I made decisions that I shouldn't have made. I know things that I got involved in could have definitely cut my life short, whether it be drugs, whether it be sex, whatever, and had a little situation there, ASC, Ashley Shores Click. This place is literally, there's a graveyard on one side and there's an orphanage on the other side. And when I even reflect and think about that, it makes you think like, man, I know there's a way out, but how do I get out of this situation? How do I really get out of here? If I turn right, I'm dead. If I turn left, I'm not really left with nothing. I started rapping around 13, freestyling around the neighborhood, in school, lunchtime, beating on the tables. That was the time to shine, especially if you could rap, or if you wanted to try to rap. That was the time to shine. I released my first project 2004, and in 2006, I came out with my first album titled Going Through Coming Out. And like I said again, that was me trying to define my purpose. And I was going through a lot at that time. Even when I put out the first album, I was even thinking, man, should I put out a more positive faith-based album, and just make my parents proud, or should I go the gangster route? Even though I'm not a gangster, I knew other guys who were doing it, and it seemed like they were just really being successful. High school. That was another defining moment. That was another dope moment. Definition of purpose, everlasting. I dropped out of school. Here I am. I'm about to repeat 9th grade for the second time. Here I am again. Not because I wanted to be, not because I was a troubled child or anything like that. I was a class clown at times, but it wasn't because of that. It was because of my lack of learning. And at the time, I couldn't explain that to my parents. But what I was frustrated with was the teachers and the way that I was being taught. I don't want to do school no more, but I want to do something. I want to do something with my life. I want to make something of it. I got my first job at 14 years old, working at Buck's Pizza. I wanted to learn. I wanted to be more. I wanted to be different. And I felt like I had that working on my job. I got to experience that more than I did in school. I felt like I was being somebody 14 years old, 15 years old, working on a job. I was working my way up, when in school I felt like I was actually working my way down. I eventually went back online to Christian Academy, and I got my diploma later on, about 2011. And I finished, and I did it, and I felt proud, and I felt like I was able to focus better, being that it was on my time, and it was in an area that I could actually function, because everybody learns different. And my first song, my actual first song, I was the producer, my brother was the writer, and we were the rappers. I recorded on tape, man. That tape had to have been almost 10 minutes long. I still remember how I did it. It was for a pageant at a church, and my parents were a little bit funny about it at the time. So I beatboxed the beat on tape, and the song was titled "God and His Angels." And man, it was the time of my life. And from that time, I knew that music was my passion. Music was running hot through my veins, and I had to be dope. And it was dope to me, and I had to go after that. You live. One thing I like to say is live, learn, and grow. You live, you should learn, and hopefully you'll grow. So yeah, that was my first. That's my baby going through, but coming out 2006, the album. That was my baby. Another thing that this album will reflect on is my weight. I believe God revealed to me that I was killing myself. I got a song on here called No Suicide. I said, man, I'll never commit suicide, anything like that. I'm one of the strongest persons out here. I'm confident, but I had to realize that I was killing myself through not taking care of my body, through physical exercise, and just eating better, you know what I'm saying? Eating better, eating more of the good of the land. I dropped 125 pounds, and in this track, which I believe really is my most personal track on the album, there was a lot of growth that came from it. I had chest pains coming off a stage one night, couldn't catch my breath, heart beating out my chest, started praying to God, and the scripture came to me, there's a way that seems right to a man, but in the end is death. And I started praying and whatnot, and God's like, nah, this is you. You know, you're doing this to yourself. This is you, this is you. I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy, what? Nah. You know, so waking up to that in that moment and realizing that I could have possibly been having a heart attack, just like, whoa, man, I gotta make some changes. Like, this is not really right. This is not me. This is not something that I want. I had to really step away from it all at that moment, and I had to black out. And what I did was I blacked out on my body. You know, I was 310 pounds, and I ended up losing 125, dropping down to 185 pounds. A lot of times I reflect, man, I was out of breath. I could barely breathe, man. I could barely really get my point across the way I actually wanted to on stage. I was just caught up in the hype. And with this album, I'm gonna help bring attention to the things that are really important. You can be better. You got so much inside you. And if you don't do something about it now, you're gonna lose your shot. You're gonna lose your chance. You might not even make it. Man, I got that weight off, and that truly changed my life. That was the moment. I feel like after I started taking care of my body, I really realized the way I should be thinking. You gotta live your life and live it to the fullest. Be dope. Definition of purpose everlasting.